What's up, Inkie peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and today we're hitting up the picture books. This is one of my favourite picture books that I used to read to my classes. It's called Magic Beach by Alison Lester, and I'm making an art journal page and a layout. I was originally going to do 2 art journal pages, but I'm very happy to say that this is the final page in this art journal. Thank goodness. I get to a point where I'm just kind of done with my art journal. Does anyone else get like that? And so I made a layout as well. And the thing with this book is it's called Magic Beach. So it's very beachy themed. And the things that I was using as my images and then as my photo for my layout were not beachy. So what I took from it is every second page in the book is a circle an illustration in a circle, I should say. And then every other page is a full page image. So I took the circle kind of idea and ran with that a little bit. I went through my magazine image collage folder thingy, which so far I've been using it a lot and it's working really well. So I hope that I can keep on top of it, keep it organized and keep things in there rather than just piling the magazine clippings up in my craft room. But so far, so good. I'll report back in a few months and let you know how it's going. But I found these and they were part of I think it was an article about a fashion company, I think, in Frankie magazine, and I've always wanted to use them, but I wasn't quite sure how. And so I grabbed the image of the 3 girls and I've decided to turn that into a bit of a giant circle on this side of the page, and then use that little one down the bottom just as an extra image. I was going through my napkins and I found this one and I thought it would be perfect. I should add that I had pre-gessoed this page way before doing this page. I think I must have had some leftover gesso from a project and slapped it in there, and that helped a lot because I felt like the dilutions pages are a little creamy and I much prefer a more bright white background, but that's just personal preference. I'm using matte gel medium, of course, to stick this down, and a dodgy brush. Always use not one of your favourite brushes for matte gel medium. Learnt that the hard way. Someone did ask me once how I keep it like good and not all cluggy and gluey. And because I use this is my gesso paintbrush, matte gel medium, PVA glue, any yucky substance that might wreck my paintbrush, I use this one for. And my trick is I actually let it sit in water most of the time, which you probably shouldn't do because it does damage the bristles. However, because this paintbrush is already pretty bristly and it's a nice thick sturdy one, it can put up with it, so that might help. I don't really know any other tricks that I do to it, but it seems to be working so far. I've used it for quite a while. Then I added a bit of stamping with my giant roller stamp, and then I wanted to really emphasize the circle on this page just as part of inspiration from that Magic Beach picture book. So I just did a doodly circle, and then I've sped this bit up very, very fast. I'm just writing a quote from my fave, Morgan Harper Nichols. I promise I do look at other quotes other than hers, but at the moment I'm just on a real kick, and every day she posts new ones on Insta stories, and I'm just on a real kick of her writing style at the moment, and it'll be nice to look back on in years to come because this journal has quite a lot of her quotes all in the one spot. I added a few words in hot pink Posca paint pen, and then I'm just adding a few stars down here, and this page is pretty much done. So I really like how white the background is. I think it really reflects the picture book and how the text was on one side, white background, black text, and then the circle image was on the right hand side. I think I may show right at the very end. If not, I will put in a little still image of an inside of the page right at the end when I show all of the photos for this project. But I really like the way it turned out, and it was a nice, it felt like a very final page. It felt like, yep, happy with this page. The journal's done. See you later. On to a new one. I haven't yet started a new journal, but I'm in a bit of a conundrum because I have also finished my junk journal, so I don't have a current junk journal. And I don't know what journal to work in next. I have another exactly like this, an 8x8 one that I could use, or I could make another junk journal, or I have some of the A4 dilutions, which I don't feel comfortable in. So I'm not quite sure. Let me know if there's a specific size journal or a specific type of journal you'd like to see me work in next. So for this one, this photo was actually taken on Christmas morning last year. And of course we have Christmas in summer and it was very hot. So Archie was decked out in his singlet, shorts, hat and his new sunglasses that Santa bought him. And I wanted to scrap this page just because I love this photo, and I thought I'd be able to bring in a few slightly beachy themed, summer themed elements from some of the new crepe paper collection, and just to match the book. However, I went through a few stages with this. So I'm using some Liquitex modelling paste and I'm putting it through this star stencil, and I love the way it turned out. However, there were some paint flecks that came off. As you can see there, some of the edges of the stars are quite dark, and that's paint that's not supposed to be there. So I wanted to cover it up, and I grabbed this tube of $2 paint that I got from my local cheap shop, and it reminded me of the front cover of the book. It was a similar colour. It was a little bit brighter, but it was the same kind of colour. So I decided to use that. And then, of course, I thought I had too much paint on my piece of cardstock, but alas, I didn't. I didn't prep it or anything first. I just put the matte gel medium straight over the top, because if I'm using, not matte gel medium, sorry, baby brain, modelling paste. If I'm using modelling paste and acrylic paint on this Basil Marshmallow cardstock, I won't worry gessoing. But if I'm using a lot of watercolour, then I am more likely to, or acrylic inks. So then I decided to keep going with this circle thing that I've got going on. So I stole one of Archie's plates to trace a circle with, and I'm just cutting that out as kind of neatly as I could. And I love the way it looks. However, I felt like it needed something else. I'm also trimming my photo down a little bit. I wanted to keep Archie at this point. He was going through a phase of bringing a spoon everywhere with him. He was obsessed with spoons, and he went nowhere without his beloved spoons. So I wanted to keep that in there, and I felt like my photo needed to pop a little bit more, so I'm just matting it on some white cardstock. But the circle's still annoying me a little bit. It needs something. I was tossing up I didn't know whether to doodle around the stars with white or black. And then I was thinking, I could use some Distress Oxides over the top, because I've recently rediscovered those. But I wasn't quite sure. And then I pulled out this fluoro red colour because I thought that would go with his hat. And then I was tossing up with the blue. I was just having a very indecisive moment. And then I decided to go for gold. And this is a little pot of gold metallic paint. The brand, I don't know. Aaron bought it for me for Valentine's Day last year, I think, from Eckersley's. And I put it on and I just wasn't loving it. But I kept going because, I was already deep in there. So I'm just sponging that on with a makeup sponge. And then I tried to just go over the top, and I did a big line that I didn't like. And I was just, because the modelling paste, of course, is textured, I could just very, very lightly brush over the top with the makeup sponge and barely any paint on there. And I could catch the edges. But I just didn't like how it was going on the blue. So I was going to glue it down, and then I thought, no, I'm not happy with it. So I don't know if I did it off camera or not. I grabbed some white gesso and I gessoed over all of the gold bits. And then I stopped my camera because I felt like I was taking too long on this little piece, and I did 2 coats of white gesso over the gold sections just to really cover them up, because it was gold and it was metallic, it was really shining through. Then once they were dry, I just painted the entire thing in that blue colour once more. So that was done. And then I grabbed, I don't know if I do it on camera or I've already done it, but I grabbed a little bit more white gesso on my sponge and just really gently brushed it over some of the stars so that you could see them stand out a little bit more. And I much more prefer, so basically I'm back where I started from. That's that's the lesson learned here. But the good news is you can always cover it up. You know my old saying, you really can always cover it up. So then it's time to find a paper. And I'm flicking through. I just wanted one paper, and I've got this Sunny Days paper pad. And looking at it now, there's actually a lot of papers that I find a bit challenging in here, like that one. And there's a couple I go through again. That one is a little tricky. It's multicolored. The watermelons is a little tricky. The seashells is a bit tricky. So it's going to be fun to see how long this paper pad, in all honesty, hangs around in my stash, because I think it's going to hang around for a while. I've also got the 6x8 paper pad, which is just all the more paper to try and use up. But this one, I don't know what it was about it. It was making me happy, and I just really liked the tiny touch of stripe around the photo. I feel like it kind of draws your eye a little bit more to it. And then I grabbed this cut apart from the Sunny Days collection, trying to find something that had summer on it, because Christmas, I just immediately think of summer, which is, I know it's strange for a lot of people who experience snow and cold weather and snowmen and snowflakes and all of those Christmassy themes that are scattered all across scrapbooking supplies for Christmas. But this collection's actually perfect for us Aussies and us people in the Southern Hemisphere. I'm pretty sure it's the whole, I'm having a baby brain moment. Is it the whole Southern Hemisphere that has Christmas in summer? I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. I should know this. I do know this. You know when you think about something for too long and then it doesn't make sense anymore? I'm having one of those moments. So, tangent, gluing this on now, I wanted to have some sort of focal image over here, and then I thought this car was perfect because it's a similar kind of illustration style as the book, and it's also the same colours as the background. I should add the background paper is from Pink Fresh Studio, I think. Yes, I do believe. And it's lovely. It's very nice. These are some new alphas I've got, and I'm really annoyed because they're cut wonky. So the exclamation mark and the M down the bottom I can't really use properly, which is annoying, but luckily I don't run out of M's immediately. They're not one of the letters that I run out of straight away. So just like the art journal page, I decided to do a little doodly line around it, and I'm just calling it the incredibly original title of Christmas Morning. This is I think this may be the first page in our Christmas saga. We have very busy Christmases. As you guys probably know, we have 4 sets of parents. One of them lives, Aaron's dad lives 4 hours away, so we don't usually get to see him on actual Christmas. However, the other 3 all live within 5-10 minutes of us. So we have a very busy Christmas day, and last year, I should say, 2018, we did Christmas breakfast. So we left at 8 o'clock in the morning. Then we went to came home and Archie had a nap. Then we had Christmas lunch, and then we went straight from Christmas lunch to Christmas dinner. And then we got home and I think about 10 o'clock at night, and it was a big, big day. But this year, Aaron and I were talking about this the other day actually, we will have a under 2-month-old probably, and I don't think we're going anywhere. That's what we did when Archie was little. We had our first Christmas just at home, and people came to us, which was very lovely. I will still be recovering from a C-section, so I'm not sure what the banquet that I will be making, what that will be like, but we'll have to wait and see. Let me know in the comments what you guys do for Christmas. Do you stay at home? Do you go here, there, everywhere? Do you spread Christmas out over a couple of different weekends? I'd love to know. This Christmas is going to be exciting. I can't wait to get a Santa photo with the two of them. Ooh. All right, back on topic, Adele. Stop thinking baby. So then I am just adding a couple of extra details here. I'm really, really trying to bust through my sticker sheets. Oh gosh, I have a lot of sticker sheets, especially the crepe paper ones. And you don't know what I've just realised, which is really bad. If you watched my original craft room tour on YouTube, you'll remember I had a drawer in my Alex drawers that was just dedicated to all my extra crepe paper stuff, all of it. That box still hasn't been unpacked from our move. So there is a secret stash of, I would say, at least 10 crepe paper sticker sheets hiding somewhere in the depths of my spare room, just waiting for me to find one day. But it'll be nice. It'll be like a little a vintage find by the time that I eventually unpack the box that we moved a year and a half ago. So yeah, we'll get there eventually. So then I wanted to add just a bit of journaling to say where we went and who we saw, because it does change every year. And one year we did all four in one day. We had breakfast, then we did morning tea, then we did lunch, and then we drove 4 hours and did dinner and stayed, obviously, 4 hours away for a few days. But that was a big one. I don't think we'd be able to do that again, especially that was pre-Archie. I definitely don't think we'd be able to do that again. I don't know if you can hear, but it's 1:30 on a weekday and the ice cream truck has decided to come around my neighbourhood, if you can hear that dinging in the background there. Very random time to come sell ice cream, but I'm sure someone must buy it. So then I am adding a few wood veneer. I felt like it just needed another texture, a little bit of warmth, and wood veneer is great at just adding another, this sounds silly, but another dimension to your page, in that the wood veneer is such a warm tone. It can really help brighten your page a little bit. And then, of course, time for some hardy shine. Some shake, 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 shake your hardy shine, shake your hardy shine. Here, there, just freaking everywhere. I really love the title for this page. I definitely am going to scrap lift this again. I might even scrap lift this. This might actually be the first layout style that I do for the scrap stream, not a scream. I'm not just going to scream at you live on YouTube. Oh boy. So don't forget, if you did miss the announcement, I'm having a live stream on YouTube on Inkie Quill on the 16th of June from 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, AEST. So calculate what that is in your time zone. I really hope you guys can come make it. I'm hoping to stay for about at least 5-6 hours. We'll see how we go. See, that's the page I'm talking about. So you can see there's the circle and then the text on the side. I love this book. All right, peeps, I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye.